Gonna do what my granddaddy taught me to do and stand up for family and fight back. Because you've been in the perspective for too long.
They don't expect that. We're not gonna have our kids marching. This is it.
Once and for all!
Justice for Patrick!
Justice for Patrick!
Justice for Patrick!
As a black man, I stand up for black women.
I don't want to say another motherfucking name!
Kanye Jordan!
400 years later, not a damn thing changed!
I stand up for black women because it's what I'm supposed to do.
It's all one fight. The same people that suppress the vote, they'll suppress your living rate.
It's standing up for freedom, a freedom that knows action, a love that is in action.
Enough is enough!
I'm not sleeping and I'm not done until we get justice.
Why is everybody, why is the police fighting against us, but they're supposed to be helping us? That doesn't make sense.
If black women don't do it, then it don't get done. That's what I'm heard.
When I say gun, you say no.
Don't forget what we did today. Today is history. Don't just go home and say, hey, let me post it. Live it. We just have to be stubborn enough. We just have to be strong enough. We just have to be relentless. Black lives. Black lives. Thank you all. I pass the mic to the next person. Black women matter.
Hello and welcome to Stay Live Streams. You know, many times when I've been to the aftermath of a gun violence situation, one of the things I notice in comments is the following. Phrases such as, no one is doing anything, nobody's stepping up, and no one cares. Well, my guests today say that yes, there is, yes, we are, and yes, we can. Join us in the conversation of a group of people who have started organizations, programs teaching gun safety here in Louisville, Kentucky, right here on Stay Live Streams.
Arrest the cops!
I'm joined today by my guest, Eddie Woods. How are you today, sir?
Fine, how you doing, sir?
I'm not too bad. And please introduce yourself and let me know what organization you run.
My name is Eddie Woods. I'm the CEO of Louisville Dots Incorporated. We do gun violence intervention work in Louisville, Kentucky.
And what got you into that work?
Well, I actually started doing substance abuse prevention, and a lot of folks were asking for things relevant to youth violence and gangs and like that. And this was back in the mid to late 90s. So we just kind of shifted gears and started paying attention to the gun violence since a lot of the kids we were working with were part of or lived in the 6 projects that were in Louisville at the time. So it just kind of evolved into what it is now. We're primarily we do gun violence intervention through programs, as opposed to just trying to do kumbaya moments and running up in people's faces telling them they don't need to do what they're doing. We try to show them a way not to do it. We try to show them a way that they need to choose to live for their loved ones as opposed to dying from them. And then we try to turn what it is that they like to do into income. turning into income. So that's a lot of what it is at this point.
Now, Richard Whitlock, you're here with us as well. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what organization you run.
Well, hello, my name is Richard Whitlock Jr. I have a nonprofit organization called the Gap Felony Prevention Program. Right now, I'm a community organizer for an organization called Interfaith Path to Peace. And what got me involved with anti-violence work is my father was a murder victim in 1984. And about 1992, when I was about 10 years old, I started seeing a phenomenon on the news of a lot of black men being killed. And that's what really sparked my interest. Just to seeing the number of black men killed in the early 90s. And I told myself when I became an adult, I was going to do something about the violence in our community. And I've been doing that for like 13 years now.
Wow. Well, I appreciate hearing that. And here on the screen as well, DJ John Q. Quentin Johnson, tell us a little bit about the programs you run.
Hey everybody, Q with Armed and Educated, also known to our area as DJ John Q. Armed and Educated Incorporated is my organization. We started in hopes of teaching responsible firearm ownership in communities highly affected by firearm violence. The purpose is to bend firearm culture in our communities in the direction of safety and responsibility, supporting their Second Amendment right to be able to defend themselves. What we do is pop up in the community and teach people where they are. So there's parks, recreational spaces where the community is outside, giving out gun locks, gun safety info, doing on-the-spot training. We did have events. Today we did gas money and gun safety with some other organizations. Some of those are represented on the phone. Shout out to Dr. Eddie Woods and No More Red Dots. But we pull up where our people are, and we encourage and train people on firearm safety. I'm also a certified firearm instructor. So my effort is to take that culture of safety and responsibility into our communities and change the narrative of gun violence with information, education, and training.
Now that program you do, you said you go to where the people are. How often do you do that, giving gun training and free gas? I know it's twice online. Is that something that's really coming up?
The consistency of gas money and gun safety has been once a month. We're able to do that with the resources of finances, people, and availability with gas stations and communities that are experiencing heightened gun violence once a month currently. I also do events called pull-ups, which is me outside in the community in the parks and other recreational spaces where people continually hang out in numbers, doing on-the-spot firearm safety trainings, giving out firearm locks, gun safety locks, because gun safety is a big part of the conversation we need to make sure that we're leaning into. Also firearm safety information. So literature, some hardware, and upgrading people's software that's up here about how we need to treat our Second Amendment and treat our tools, because firearms are tools. So that's the effort, that's the energy that we have behind it, Armed and Educated.
I want to bring this up to just a few days back, a Metro Council meeting. Erica Shields and Detective, I think Louder, Lieutenant Louder, we're speaking about mass shootings and the preparation for them. Did you all get a chance to see this Metro Council meeting or hear it?
I got to see some of that.
Yeah, I saw some of it as well.
Now, I'll start with you, DJ John Q, about this. How did you feel about that? Do you think LMPD, and this is for everyone, I just want to start with DJ John Q. How do you feel about LMPD's preparation for mass shootings? Do you think they are ready? Do you think that if that did take place, that they would be able to do a good job based on what Shields said and Louder said in that particular Metro Council meeting?
In as much as I heard the discussion, there's effort and resources going into it. So something versus nothing, I think is a great idea. Tactics-wise, I'm not a police officer, nor was I in the military. The level of expertise that I have with being a certified firearms instructor, I don't want to completely say, no, they got it wrong, they don't know what they're talking about. But at the same time, do I believe in every tactic that they're using? I've been a part of some of the mass shooter trainings that are going on. I might not agree with every piece that they have, but the police piece is set up to be reactive, not always proactive. So a reaction to a mass shooting situation is different when, of course, you have the resources, you have the manpower, you have the firepower, you have the protective gear, et cetera, to go into it. But the approach always that Armed and Educated takes is going into the community and training our people. So I personally believe just training the police and just having the resources with police is not preparing the people that are going to be calling the police to be able to actually meet that mass shooter threat head on. These are our schools, these are our churches, these are our community spaces, and we need to be preparing the people to be able to react to some of the nonsense that's going on in the world. Now, is that the stance that the police take consistently? I don't believe so. So with organizations like the ones you have represented in the interview now, we're taking more of that approach of going to the people and trying to get people prepared for, or people to be the people that react to crazy things that go on in their communities. So if our local police department wanted to gear up to come out to make sure they took care of people, to be proactive instead of reactive, I would love to see that versus one organization having been backed financially by our people, government people in the community that have all of the resources. I'd love to see some of those resources be poured on preparing the community instead.
Now, Richard Whitlock, I want to direct the same question toward you. Did you have a chance to see that Metro Council meeting?
Yeah, I seen it vaguely, but mass shootings isn't really, really the intervention work and prevention that I've been working on. I just wish the same attention that people got for mass shootings, they've always done in our community as well. It seemed like, you know, 1,000 shootings a year, there is a mass shooting. And what I've said plenty of times since Martin Luther King was murdered, what's been going on in our community is a riot in slow motion. So you don't have to shoot a whole bunch of people in one day for it to be a big deal to me. If you shoot a couple people every day for 4 or 5 decades, that's a mass shooting to me.
Understood. And Dr. Eddie Woods, same question.
I think a little bit of thoughts have already been shared from the standpoint of police being reactionary. I think everybody's got a real good plan until which time they got to execute. One of the things that has to happen with any shootings is that you find some kind of way to get on the front end of it. You know, and I think intel and being able to have a reasonable and functional relationship with the community can put you up on a lot of things. You know, I think too much attention is paid to a mass shooting after it happens, and we start to worry about what the person's life is like and all of that kind of stuff when they had the life on the front end. So then somebody had to know before it got to be a thing where several people were killed. You know, and I don't know. I'm just for 30 years have been just trying to do things on the front end. So I don't know about responding to something with enough shields and armored vehicles and all those kind of things like that. That's another man's bloody. That's not mine. You know, what we try to do is keep it from being anything close to a bunch of kids being killed and those kind of things like that. But the other part to it that never seems to be addressed is the fact that we set up this structure. We set up this whole kinship to killing and violence. And then when the arena explodes on you, then you got a problem. You know, I think somehow we're going to have to try to figure out a way to have some kind of attention being paid to mental health issues. You know, because some folks just don't need to have anything close to them. They don't even need to have a vicious cupcake in their hand. They don't need nothing like that. But what they need more than anything else, you know, is some kind of treatment and care.
And I can't agree with you more on that. I speak a lot about building relationships more with youth and providing more programs to even stop the process. I refer to it as a pathway somewhere, mostly getting to that point of shootings and whatnot, making the streets safer. So I commend you, Dr. Eddie Woods, and everyone on this call for the work you're doing on a consistent basis. With that being said, we do have someone else here on the call with us. We're going to hear some answers to what he has to say to some of the same questions I just asked right after this small break.
Why are we still asking the same questions?
George Floyd repeatedly told the officers that he could not breathe.
So why do we still have strength to continue?
I believe in your power. I believe in our power.
Chants of Black Lives Matter echoed from thousands of protesters in cities around the world.
Why are we not defeated?
We have made too much progress, and we are not going back. We are going forward.
Planes are starting to arrive in Beirut full of international aid.
Firefighters from around the world arriving in California. There are over 100 coronavirus vaccines in development worldwide.
This is one of those times when people look out for one another and have each other's backs.
We kept going for those who showed us the way.
Think about how you would like the world to be for your daughters and granddaughters.
Remember, the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose. Press on with pride and press on with purpose.
Why is it that this year showed at its worst and we still found ways to triumph?
An incredible feat for Maya Gabeira.
Naomi Osaka, U.S. Open Championship.
Can't let Corona stop you. Can't let quarantine stop you.
So until we get to every answer, we're still searching.
Okay, we are back to that small break, and we're going to get right to it, actually. With this also, with Dr. Eddie Woods, with Richard Whitlock, and DJ John Q, I bring to the screen Kamal Wells of Men Against Gun Violence. Kamal, how are you today?
Hey, how you doing? That's so you want me to go into it now?
Yes, please. Tell us a little bit about Men Against Gun Violence, how long you've been working on that, and the main objectives of Men Against Gun Violence.
Men Against Gun Violence, I started in September 22nd of last year. Actually, September 23rd of 2021, in the wake of a young man named Tyrese Smith. It was a school bus stop shooting where 3 kids were shot and 1 died while waiting on the school bus on the corner of W.D. Hodge and Chestnut Street here in Louisville, Kentucky. So at that point, I was just like, enough's enough. So I started an initiative to ask for 50 men to basically be at the bus stops in the mornings to protect the kids, to make sure there's no more bus stop shootings and all that stuff. Since then, I've maintained it. We still been hitting the bus stops in the mornings with the staffing that we and the volunteers that we have as of right now. Also, we're expanding to incorporate other programs as well, to not just protecting in that aspect of being there, being vigilant, to deter any type of violence, whether it's fist fight or anything. We don't need more bus stops, fights, anything that hinder the kids from getting to school to get their education. We try to end all of it. So we're there to intervene if there's a fight, because as we know, fights tend to turn to shootings later, So we're there to protect that, to try to stop that, deter the shootings. Also, like I said, I was speaking about the program. I'm partnered with national organization called Great Resources for Life out of Texas. And what's that allowed me to do is also expand, not just to Louisville, but to Dallas, Fort Worth area, Corpus Christi, Texas, and so on. So, because they're running to the same, Texas just became an open carry state. So they're starting to experience the same things that we're already experiencing, So they're trying to get ahead of the curve incorporated what we're doing there as well. But home is first for me, and you know, that's good. And I love to try to help all the kids to save as many lives as possible. But as far as in our own backyard right here in Louisville, my thing is, you know, Dr. Eddie Woods, he said something about this, that we contribute to things being the way they are now. And I can say myself a perfect example of that, contributing to it. So, you know, yeah, it's time to make a difference. It's time for us to say the OGs that been through that life, to step up and say, hey, nah, check this out. It's you gotta do something different. Here's a different way. You know, when I was young, there was an older guy came to me and said, man, y'all need to invest some of the money y'all making. And I asked him, I said, well, how do you do it? And he said, I don't know, but you need to invest it. And I took it like, you know, well, if you can't tell me how to invest it, then you might as well not even say nothing to me, you know? Mm. And so it's the same philosophy in dealing with these kids now. You know, you can tell them, hey, man, I need to put these guns down, I need to do this, I need to do that. But if you can't show them how to do it, if you can't give them the tools that they need to, you know, do something different, you might as well not say anything. So in addition to being on the bus stop, we're incorporating this, trying a training program. Like I said, we have the new book workbooks that's coming out. Also, you know, we have resources that I'll try to make it quick as possible. We have resources that can give jobs, provide jobs here. You know, to give them something to do. I can kind of time and everything, but like I was speaking to a brother about it. I'm not gonna mention his name, but speaking to him about it. You know,
well, actually,
yeah, go ahead.
My apologies. I kind of cut you off there. Actually, I was going to get on that very note. I was going to ask, and I want to start with Richard Whitlock on this question, but I want to talk about telling the public. First, I want to take some live question and answers. We are indeed live right now on Facebook. And if you have questions that you want to ask, please write them in the comments. Write the person's name you want to ask the question of, and I'll make sure to get that question asked to that particular person. But while we're waiting on those questions, starting with you, Richard, will you please describe how people can get involved with your program, events you have coming up, or volunteer with your program as well?
I became an activist when I met one. And that's what I tell people, you don't become a dope dealer until you meet a dope dealer. You don't become a gangbanger until you meet a gangbanger. So with what Dr. Woods is doing today, with John Q, with Kamal, with us all being on here, we really reaching out to people and say, hey, if you want to do something in your neighborhood, you want to do something in your community, you want to do something in our city, reach out to us, we'll help you. And that's how, you know, just like anything else, when it comes to activism, when it comes to anti-violence work, you just find somebody else that's doing it, and that's how you can start doing it yourself. So, you know, that's the reason why we're on here today. We're really reaching out to people, and I really believe that it's going to take everyday people from the neighborhood. We need a dude in Shawnee to do Shawnee. A dude in Chickasaw to do Chickasaw. A dude from Park Hill to do Park Hill. A dude from Russell to do Russell. A dude from Newburgh to do Newburgh. So on and so forth. And you know, it's just everyday people that's already embedded in these communities. I really believe that they are our only hope, not just our last hope. They should have been our first hope. And I think the city is really starting to realize that these communities where the violence are, we got people embedded in them. We got people that you know, a lot of people that we can name, especially the 2020 protesters, use those guys to do some anti-violence work out here. And that's what I really love about what's going on now, is that we have a generation of social justice warriors in this city. And Dr. Woods will tell you, and I'll tell you, that this violence that's going on in our community is the number one issue in the Black community. We have to stop killing each other. A job doesn't mean nothing if I'm dead. A new grocery store doesn't mean nothing if I can't stay alive past the summer. Even going to college doesn't mean anything just really, so anybody that want to get involved, they can reach out to me. I'm easy to find on Facebook. I don't mind sharing my network with people just like I did with you, Maxwell. Dr. Eddie Woods is approachable. The reason why we are here today is to let people know that not only are we accessible and not just to tell people what we're doing in the community so they'll feel better. So if they want to, if your friend want to jump and do anti-violence work, they can come and join us. We know the help we can get out in the community, and I don't know nobody that ain't good enough to help our community.
So with you in particular, it sounds like it'll be best through Facebook. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the best way to reach out to me. And just really, in this city, we got some kind of Office of Safe and Healthy Neighborhoods. So anybody that doesn't know about it and isn't aware of it, Metro Government has the Office of Safe and Healthy Neighborhoods. They have all kind of PDF and tutorials that'll be great. I was introduced to Cure Violence in 2012. Same as Dr. Eddie Woods. I always wanted to do something. When I was introduced to Cure Violence in 2012, that something turned into Cure Violence. And that's something I would share with anybody. Y'all can go online and check out the Cure Violence model. A lot of people say, hey, you can't do nothing about the violence in our community. The Cure Violence model works, and it works internationally. And it's a great story about what's going on in Black communities and urban communities and how we can do something about the violence in our communities. So I suggest everybody go to Cure Violence as well.
I appreciate that, sir. And DJ John Q, can you please let the public know where they can find your work, get involved in it, and if you are open to volunteers, how they can get involved?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely open to volunteers. I love what Richard said, how it takes people from the community to be active in the community, and every neighborhood and every hood that there is, on every block that there is, there are people who can be change agents. I absolutely believe in that. So moving around the city, doing work in every area, every corner that we can find it, where it's necessary. They can tap in with me on Instagram, on Facebook, any of that, at Be Armed and Educated. On Facebook, it's Be Armed and Educated. You got to type out the whole thing. On Instagram, it's at Armed and Educated. Same situation. No spaces, just type out the whole thing. Find me on my social media. Or if I'm outside, because my situation in my programming is outside. I really be outside. In youth spaces, we don't teach the same curriculum for gun ideas or gun safety. It's, of course, we need children to don't touch guns, tell adults to leave the area, don't touch firearms, things like that. We also teach conflict avoidance and resolution, and in some spaces, de-escalation also. So if you see me anywhere outside, 100% approachable. Let's talk about how we can get more people more active on everything that we got going. Again, on Facebook, it's Be Armed and Educated. On Instagram, it's Armed and Educated. So tap in with me and let's figure out how we can add more people to the solution.
Well, I thank you for that, sir. And the same question for you, Dr. Eddie Woods. Dr. Eddie Woods, are you still with us?
Let me give you our website, which is www.nmrd.info. The whole story is right there. If you got a situation where you got a young person that is driving you crazy and needs some mentorship, then all you got to do is let us know. If you got beef with somebody, you need somebody to intervene, that's what we do. If you got a kid that you don't even know where the kid is, but you know that they might be with some wrong people, we can probably help with that. We can help with rent. We can help with whatever problem you got. We got somebody around us who actually can address that. And one of the big issues that we have right now when we start a peace of practice spending is that some of us ain't never had the opportunity to work together. People who really feel it and understand the work have not had the opportunity to work together. We got a lot of folks coming out of the woodwork when somebody throw some money in there, you know, but the real deal is folks who've been doing this work when there wasn't no money hooked to. You know, I met a whole lot of cats, you know, who I'd love to be able to hire, but, you know, I can't afford to do that right now, but, you know, I'm usually working out of the trunk of a car anyway, so it ain't nothing new. We're going to make it pop. some kind of way we'll make it pop, you know. So the other thing is being being Dr. Eddie on Instagram and Twitter, either one of those. And you are not alone. You are not by yourself. You got some people that are willing to help you. That helping folks is what we do. In 1980, I made a promise to God. I said, if you let my mama see me change my life, then I'm gonna spend the rest of my life serving other people. God held up his end of it, so I'm down. You know, I'm down to the end of it, and that's how it works.
I appreciate that very much. And Dr. Eddie Woods, lastly but not least, Kamal Wells, I'm gonna ask you the same question very quickly because we are running out of time, but please let the public know where they can find you and if they were wanting to volunteer with your organization and programs.
Yeah, on Facebook, Men Against Gun Violence, go to your group section, type in Men Against Gun Violence. Also, have a number 361-225-6607. It's open to the public. Like I said, I also have a hotline number as well. It's attached to my to the group page. You'll find it there as well. But that's available, kind of like what Dr. Wilson was saying. If you have a problem, if you have kids that are in a situation that may lead to gun violence, if you we're anti-police, so we're not going to take the information and hand it to the police. Let's get that out there off the muscle. So you know we're going to be. You know, say you can call me. We'll come sit down with you, talk to you and your kids, go talk to the other kids and their parents, and then bring them together and try to mediate the situation before it comes to an issue where the pistol play comes in, because you know everybody's tired of losing. And don't wait until you lose one and then it's what could be done different. Don't wait until we get to that point. And like the brother said, we started it. I started this. No funding. No funding.
I do appreciate that, sir. I hate to cut you off. We're about to get cut off any second now. I appreciate you getting that information, and I appreciate each of you gentlemen taking the time for this interview. There were a couple of questions and statements said from the public. Can you guys put your efforts together to strengthen your impact? And are you guys willing to set up a booth at the Stop the Violence basketball tournament? I want to make sure those were voiced. And I also want to say to everyone out there, whether it's a group coming together to be there for individuals, students, youth, getting ready to go to school, setting up programs for mental health and focus on that, programs to teach gun safety, and programs to build programs and events for the public to come to for more public building and community building. People are doing work here, as you see in this video, and this is one of a couple of series that I want to do on gun violence and the people who are doing something. The next series of this, I look forward to speaking to Demetrius McDowell and Kathy Mikas with Moms Demand Action, hopefully. And that will be coming soon. The specific date I couldn't say, but I do appreciate you all staying live with me here on this particular interview about gun violence and the people who are doing something about it. Thank you all, and have a good evening on Stay Live Streams.